I think there's probably a greater burden though on men here, just because women don't really approach it nearly as often. They do it occasionally. So
then are you saying that men are scared?
Oh, sure. I think men are scared.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's women are scared. I think it's more so they just don't have to. Like if you're just constantly bombarded by male initiative and male attention, you would just pick among the men who've already picked you. So it's like you don't really need to approach as a woman.
Yeah, but there's a dichotomy there. If we're saying that men are scared, then women don't particularly have a pool to choose from.
What do you mean?
Well, we just established that potentially men are scared to approach.
Yeah, they
if
are.
they are the approachers. So you're saying women have a pool to choose from. If men aren't approaching them, then they don't have a pool to choose from.
Well, that's not really a dichotomy, though.
I don't think.
Right.
And
so the idea there is just to say, so these are just descriptors. It's like, yes, men normally do pursue. Just because men are more worried about pursuit than they've ever been, and they're nervous about it, doesn't mean they still aren't the pursuers, right? And
I saw a statistic recently, and maybe Andrew, you've seen it too. Something like men between the ages of 18 to 29, like 45% of them, it was like 45 or 55%, have never in their entire life approached a woman. I don't know if it was like Pew Research. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know the exact specific numbers.
Even if it, even I think without stats to back this, which there is, you are correct. There is Pew Research on this and that's just what people are saying they've experienced, right? But I mean, we can just observe this. So the reason all of you except Chair One raised your hand when you said, "Look, who do you think the pursuers are, men or women?" You said men, because this is what you generally see, is that you've been pursued probably yourself and not been the pursuer most of the time, and probably that's true of most women you know. So I mean, that is factually true, right? That just in your experience, it's definitely the men pursuing.
Well, how about this? Has any girl here not approached a guy first?
What do you mean?
Like you went up to a guy. I'm not counting like DMs. I'm counting in person.
I have.
At the strip club?
No.
Okay, you have.
I mean, if it's someone I'm really attracted to.
Sure, you've done it. Here, guys. We're audio too, so there's people who are just listening. I need an affirmative, not just a head shake. I need a yes or a no.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm exempt.
Who approached who with your boyfriend? Your husband?
My husband approached me.
Okay.
No, I don't think I have.
Never done it? Okay.
I have.
You have?
I never have.
I pursued my boyfriend, so.
And then what about you?
I really don't approach. I think I've maybe started conversations.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say then, if you were to ask both my chat and Brian's chat right now for men to put ones in, if they've ever approached, right? Whereas just on this panel, there's women here who say, I've never approached even one time. I don't think we'd be able to find a single man who hasn't approached.
Well, I mean, the stats that I was referencing indicated that in that age demographic, I think 18 to 29, 45, I don't know if it's 45, 55, I forget the exact number, have never approached once. So
those people are living online. That's why they're very young, 18 to 29. They don't get off their couch, and they're always on the apps, and they're always on the internet. That's why they're not putting themselves out there in the real world and even trying to practice.
Well, that's really, I'd have to dispute that, because most relationships now are found on the internet. So you're saying, well, men are on the internet a lot, or people are on the internet a lot, and that's the problem. It's like, not really. It's actually giving you access to a way wider pool than you ordinarily would ever have had before, which that could be problematic in different ways. But most relationships now start online.
I didn't say it's a problem. I'm just saying that's why they're not pursuing, because they're doing everything online.
But they pursue online, though.
Yeah.
I also think, though,
they don't
that
approach, though.
It's terrifying
yes, hang on. Yes, they are approaching online. How are they not approaching?
Well, they said they've never
sliding into the DMs. They're the approachers.
But didn't they say that they never approached in real life? Isn't that the statistic?
No, I'm talking about for women. For women, the women aren't approaching, right? Men are approaching.
Well, that statistic that you just said about 18 to 29, they never approached a woman.
That was about men.
Yeah, men that never, because I said they're young and they're online.
In person.
Yeah, they haven't approached in person.
Yes.
That's all. Yeah.
Oh, in person, yeah. Yeah, sure, but they're approaching them online.
Okay.
I think online dating has also really increased. I mean, I met my boyfriend on Hinge. He's a great guy. I think there's like select apps for it though. I think if you're on Tinder frequently, that's a hookup app. I think if you're on Hinge, you're a little bit more serious. So I think it really depends on the app you're on too.
Closer to the mic.
I think it's terrifying for men to approach women these days, though, too, because women have gotten vicious when men approach them. They get accused of harassment. Oh, I have a boyfriend. And, like, women don't know how to turn down guys nicely anymore, so guys stop trying.
Yeah, there's, like, a lack of respect in today's society.
And then, like, also, I think there is a component of, with social media, like if you kind of approached and you kind of fumbled a little bit, or maybe you were a little, like, did something a bit embarrassing, right? And it's like, well, it was embarrassing in the moment, but it's just, it vanishes into eternity. It vanishes into the ether. But now it's like with social media, people are so interconnected. You don't know, what if she's got TikTok and she's gonna be like, oh, I was at, and this guy did this thing, da-da-da. I mean, we've reacted to some clips where, and look, men aren't always conducting themselves or acting perfectly. Sometimes they're weird, sometimes they're goofy, creepy, whatever it is, right? But like a lot of women will put dudes on blast online. And like men care a lot about their reputation. Like one of the worst things you can be labeled is a creep or, something even worse than that.
Yeah.
So like a lot of, back in the day, maybe you said some dumb shit, whatever. That was it, Now it's like, oh man, if I say the wrong thing, or if I'm even perceived, maybe I think I'm like doing everything okay, but maybe the perception is, oh, I startled her a little bit. Like she got startled when I approached. Now she thinks I'm creepy. She thought I was gonna like stab her or some shit. I was just trying to ask for a number. I don't know. So a lot of guys are kind of concerned about it's a good point.
Stabbed?
It's a good no.
About approaching.
No, I'm just like, for example, there was a famous TikTok, I don't know if this was a year ago, some girl lost her fucking shit. It went viral, and she was like, a guy tried to approach me during the daytime in a parking lot of some shopping mall. And she didn't make any suggestions that he was trying to attack her or anything. She just said he was vaguely creepy, right? And I'll agree, there are men who are acting in creepy ways, but like there is some concern here. Like, what is sometimes the difference between behavior, like the determination for what's creepy? Is it how attractive the guy is? Now, I want to be clear. I think that there are things that are, whether you're the most attractive man in the world or the ugliest, that are just clearly creepy across the board. But I do think women will make a interpretation of a scenario. The exact same behavior, if done by a guy who they find attractive, is going to be deemed like flirting. Whereas if it's a guy you're not attracted to or who's ugly, you're going to be like, whoa, that was really creepy, uncomfortable, right? So I think there's a component there too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that fully. I think I just had this conversation with my CEO about this, because it was like, what's the difference between stalker behavior and like actually approaching? And his whole point was, it doesn't matter, as long as, like, if they're attractive, nobody cares. And I think that that's 100% truth.
I mean, I've definitely had attractive people be creepy.
Sure.
For sure.
Like a lot, honestly. So
Yeah.